Hi fam, how are you doing? I hope that you have been keeping well. It has been a long time. And today I was just like, you know what, bruh, it's time. It is time. And before we can actually get back to our normal content that we normally produce in this channel, I thought that let's have a conversation. Let's sit here and we're going to have some sort of a podcast style type of a conversation where I just bring you in my thoughts, where I've been, why I've taken the break. You know that in June that was my last month at work, and then after that I did take a little bit of a break, but I don't think that I allowed myself to like fully take a break. Not to say that I've left the career part. No, I'm still gonna go back into working. It's just that right now I've told myself that I do need a break. I've been contemplating whether I should call it a gap year or I'm just taking a sabbatical. But either way, it has no time frame. Like, I haven't given myself time to say I'm taking a break from this time to this time. This period of my life right now, I don't take it lightly. But I will say that I have been in a pull and tug type of a war where I know that I should be resting. I know that this is good for me, but then also the hustling Jennifer that is always working hard, that always has something to do. It's just like, no, she is scared, she is worried, she is going bananas thinking this is not normal. But at the same time, the other side of me is like, no, this is normal. There's nothing wrong with this. When relax, So there's been a lot of conflicting ideas within me, the same person. This is to say, right now, that is where I am. I am being drawn to being still. Like, I've always been on a go, do this, fight, do, like, always trying to do something. And in this period of my life, I'm being forced to honestly just be still, to take life easy, not put so much pressure on myself. And that is where I am right now. I'm just sitting in stillness. My days are not made up of a lot of things. Some days I wake up, almost every day I wake up and I drop my daughter to school, and then I'll come back and I'll take a walk around my neighborhood, take a walk, come back and just relax. That would be my day. Like, nothing hectic, nothing really like that I would say, oh, this is what we're doing. And I also realized that when I would try to force myself to do other things, like to be low if was always on a go, it just did not work. It just did not work because my body would just say, relaxa, don't be relaxer. This is the season for you to relax. And I was having a conversation with Uyolenda Uyols. She's a content creator here. And when we were talking, and I was just saying, she was saying, actually, her and her friend, they were saying, Guti, there are seasons in life, and right now, if my season in life is to rest and to recharge, I must actually embrace that. Like, I must actually embrace that and not fight it, because there will come a time whereby I'm going to have to be busy, and that time will have to find me ready. And when I'm in that busy period, I will also look back and miss the periods when things were just slow and I was resting. But if I don't fully allow myself to rest, fully allow myself to just be, then I'm going to look back and regret, why did I not take a full advantage of that phase in my life? And so when we're having that conversation, it just made me realize that there's no need for me to be having these conflicting ideas, that whilst I know that right now I am really being called to just be still and just take things slow, there's no need for me to also be worried on, maybe it's a symbol of being lazy, it's a symbol of not being hungry enough, it's a symbol of not being disciplined. Because there will come a time whereby those things are going to be needed, where I'm going to have to be disciplined, I'm going to have to be working hard, I'm going to have to be hustling. But right now, it's just not that time. So that is why I've disappeared. That is a long-winded way of me saying why I disappeared. But also, as I said, my body forced me to shut down. When I went home for my uncle's wedding, by the way. That was in July. When I came back, I was hit with like bad flu, like it was bad. Till now, I haven't recovered. There was a time whereby I would say around um end August, beginning of September, I felt some relief nyan, and I thought, okay, we have crossed this. I'm good now. And then now the flu is back again. Like, I'm sure you can hear the way that I'm speaking, that it's just back again. Yesterday my voice could not even come out. So I've also been just battling with flu that is just constant, that I just don't understand what's going on. I've went to the doctor about it, but you know what, I am refusing to take antibiotics, because doctors, they always like to give you antibiotics, and as a woman, you know, most of the time if you take antibiotics, it also does mess up with a lot of things, you know, for women. So I just decided I'm not gonna take antibiotics. So we've just been treating the flu in the more so natural way. Like, my partner would make the ginger, the garlic, and the lemon tea, and then we'll just keep that, and then I'll just have that almost every day. And then I put honey, I warm it up, and then I put honey. So that's what I've been hanging on by. I've been hanging on by a thread, honestly. But that, my body just doing that, was also just that addition to say, you need to relax. You are not gonna get better so long as you think that you can be Chuck Norris out here. You can't, you can't. And I've also picked up the pace in terms of just being active. I did do my monthly reset. I filmed it and everything, because I thought that, okay, beginning of September, we are getting back to it. Let me just get back to content creation. So I did my monthly reset, filmed it and everything, and edited it. That same morning when I was downloading it so that I can upload it, the file got corrupted. The file got corrupted that same Sunday, and then I just got defeated. I was just like, so then that also meant that me just creating content took longer. But you know, the thing that I'm also appreciative of is, whilst I'm in this phase of rest, I'm in this phase of stillness, I'm in this phase where I've never had a period, like a good period, where I allow myself to be still, and know ukuthi things are going to be okay. I've never really had that in my whole childhood and my whole adulthood up until now. I haven't had that. And what I love and what I'm really, really grateful for is, even in the midst of that, even in the midst of rest, in the midst of silence, in the midst of just recharging, opportunities are still finding their way to me. Doors are not closed, because sometimes we have this thing that if I'm not working as hard, if I'm not showing up the way that I'm used to, if I'm not doing that, if I'm not hustling, if I'm not putting myself out there, then it's just going to go silent. My life is going to stop and things are going to stop. But what is meant for you will find you. The years that you have taken working hard, the years that you have taken putting in all of the work and all of that effort, it's not just for the period of time that you were in when you were doing that. You were investing in your future self, because that person that had to do all of that, all of the fruits, because it's basically like you were planting the seeds. But obviously, when you're planting, it's not going to grow immediately as you are planting it. There are certain trees that when you are planting them, they take years for them to grow and actually mature to a level that they can be chopped so that they can be turned into paper. It takes a long time. So you might find that your season of sowing, your season of working hard, it was to try and grow a very long, sturdy tree that will come back and actually work for you in terms of producing results for you. So I realized that as much as I'm in this period, it was scary at first to say, oh, what does this mean? And there are times whereby I look at my finances and I'm like, oh my God, This is not good. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this at all. But then when opportunities come, when I still get orders, when I still get requests, people asking me to edit their CVs without me doing anything, by the way, without me lifting a finger, without me being present and saying, hey, I'm here. But for the fact that I did create that content months and months ago, and it's still there in my channel, it is still working for me, such that the opportunities are still presenting themselves even after. The work that I've put in my social media, my TikTok page, my Instagram page, my YouTube, still speaks for me even when I'm silent. So, this is to say, I'm honestly grateful for the fact that when it was the period to work hard, I worked hard. And that now that there's a period of stillness, the fruit of the hard work that I put in those years is still showing themselves now. It might not be at a rate that I'm used to or in the way that I'm used to it, but for the fact that they're still presenting themselves tells me that my work that I put in few years ago, few months ago, was not in vain. So this is to say to you as well, you might find yourself in a period right now where maybe it's not about stillness, but you find yourself in a period right now where you have to regroup, where you have to refigure things out. Some of you may find that you've had a divorce and had to go back home. Some of you might find that you've had to restart your whole life. You had to restructure your whole life. And for some reason, it is confusing to you to say, what does this mean? I'm not used to this. And also when you look at social media, you look at what other people are doing, and you can see that your peers are moving with life. And for you, it might feel like, but why is my life not moving? Why is it that things are just not happening for me? It is because there was a period of time, there was a period in your life where you had to put in the work. Right now, you are in another period of your life. But just because you are in this other period of your life does not mean that provision will not be there. So that's something that's one of the biggest lessons that I have drawn from this period of life. The more that I've sat in this and stop fighting it and stop trying to push it to be something that it is not, and actually accepted it for what it is, and stop judging myself to say, oh, you are lazy, or you're just not working hard enough, or maybe you don't want this hard enough. Like, there are people who are actually hungry out here. When I stopped doing all of that, stopped judging myself, that's when I started throwing up lessons. And one of those biggest lessons is, just because I'm in a period of stillness, just because I'm in a period of calm and silence, does not mean that provision will not be there. Provision will always be there. Why? Because there was a period in my life where I did put in the work, and that was me sowing the seeds. Now I'm just in the period of enjoying the fruits of that hard work that I put in. So I'm leaving this with you to say as well, you might be finding yourself in a challenging time right now where things do not make sense, where you do not know what is going to be the next step. But instead of fighting it, try to actually embrace it for what it is, so that you can also be able to understand, what does it mean for you? What are you supposed to learn from this? Sometimes you may not even get the lesson as you are in the period, but then after you have passed through that period, things start adding up, and then it start making sense. Oh, this flu, Sana, it has me chokehold Kesana. So that is the first thing that I just wanted to share with you guys. It's okay, where have I ever been, and what has been going on? Honestly, in overall, Shema, I won't lie to you, I have been doing much better mentally. Like when I look at the level of healing that I have now, mainly because I've allowed myself to heal. It is amazing. It is honestly amazing. I'm also now, over the months that I've just been taking this break, and also being out of that working environment that I was in. What I'm sensing now is, when I think of that environment, it no longer triggers me. It no longer I no longer have anxiety, I'm more calmer, I'm more, and I think it also comes with the fact that time heals everything, because with me being out of that place and then trying to get back to self and trying to remember who I am, it has honestly allowed me to heal. And also just not pushing myself to do has honestly allowed me to heal. So I'm grateful for that, because honestly guys, I was a walking anxiety person, like, and I know myself that I'm not a person that has been anxious, had anxiety and so forth. Like, I just know that about myself. But for some reason in my 30s found myself developing anxiety issues. So now that I'm in this process of healing and just taking things slow, I have really found that it has really helped me to deal with that part of my life, because it's just not nice to be an anxious person and always having anxiety. It's just not nice, because you also tend to second guess yourself a lot in a lot of things that you want to do, in a lot of things that you want to accomplish. You second guess yourself a lot. So that is a positive thing as well. I know that some of you have reached out to me on Instagram, just checking up on me, some of you have reached out on my emails, checking up on me and just sharing that you do miss my content. I do miss creating that content as well. But I realized that one of the things that also pushed me to not come back as quickly was I felt like I was in a limbo where I wasn't sure where I stand. So I create financial content, largely, create financial content. I create also career content. But then now that I'm not in the traditional work mode, in a traditional job, I found myself just not knowing where I fit. I found myself not knowing where my content fits, because my content has always revolved around me. I'm not an expert. I do not know better than you. I just talk about what is it that I'm doing. And I just found it difficult for me to create content, because I was just in a limbo myself, trying to figure out, where do I fit? What does what does this mean for my finances? How am I proceeding forward? And coming back and then creating content became even more difficult, because I was very, very critical of myself. Very, very critical of myself. And I had this realization this other day to say, the thing is, because we are so conditioned, let me stretch my legs. Because we are so conditioned to say that there's a certain job that is respectable, getting a job is respectable and so forth. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with getting a job. There's nothing wrong with working. But I do feel like, because there is something that is hammered within us, that even when you are working, but just not working a traditional job where there is a pay slip, it feels like you're not working. Because according to society's level and also your level, which is my level, I'm thinking of myself, according to me, I'm not working, because I don't have a traditional job, a job that pays me each and every month, a job that gives me a pay slip. So in my mind, I kept telling myself that you are unemployed, have a conversation with people that just say, but I'm unemployed. And I feel like that put a damper in a lot of things that I really could have been doing or could have channeled my time towards. Because me and just, hi, I'm unemployed. Because it has always been drilled to me that to be employed, you must have a formal job that you go to each and every day, that pays you each and every month, that you know how much money you are getting paid, and then you can say that you are employed. But if you do not have that, then you are not employed. And I've had to restructure my mind and actually check myself to say, employment does not only come with you having a formal job. You can be formally employed whereby you report to someone, but also you can be self-employed. That is still employment. Just because you do not have a pay slip does not mean that you are not employed. It just means that you are the one employing yourself. But because we are so used or it has been drilled to us that we need to report to someone, report to a certain institution, report to a certain time, on a certain time, then it's like, okay, I've got a respectable job. I'm a respectable member of the society. And for people who do not have that, they end up feeling like, what's wrong with them? They end up feeling like failures. They end up feeling like they're not doing enough. They end up feeling like there's something missing in their lives. Well, maybe there is, but sometimes there just isn't anything missing in your life. It's just it's just that society expects things to be in a certain way, and your life is not projecting that, and thus you feel like there's something missing in your life. So I've had to check myself to say, no, you may not have a traditional job, but you are employed because you are self-employed. You are working for yourself, which means that you are your own boss. You have to show up for yourself, and you have to tell yourself that this is your job right now. I will go back to the traditional employment where I have to report to someone, report to a certain institution. But right now, I'm in a period where I am reporting to me. The me is who I must be accountable for. So, this is to say also, another thing is to say, if you're in the period right now where you don't have a job, a traditional job, but you are trying things, you are hustling there, you are pushing businesses, you're trying something, you are self-employed. And just because it is not in the standards that you are used to in terms of the pay, the monthly pay, it's not the same, it does not matter. What matters is you are self-employed. Now, this is not to say that being self-employed does not come with its own challenges. It comes with many challenges, and a big one of that is the finances, the inconsistency of your finances. So that's something that I've been learning to navigate as well. I'm glad that when September started, I actually went back and I did my monthly reset. It made me feel good because with that monthly reset, I was able to just refigure out what is happening with my finances. How can I best plan my finances, even though I know very well that I do not have a standard income each and every month? How can I also make sure that this emergency fund that I have, how long can I stretch it for before it starts getting concerning to say, hey, sissy, so those are things that I've just been looking at, and I'm glad that this month when it started I was able to do that, because the previous months there was just a lot of wishy-wishy that was going on, a lot of confusion and a lot of neglect on my part when it comes to my finances. So I'm glad that I actually did figure out what is going on with my finances and how can I best manage them. It's not perfect right now, not perfect at all, but I'm glad that I'm just not ignoring them at all. Which is also one of the biggest challenges that I realized ever since I started working for myself in this period, is that the normal way that I've been budgeting, the normal way that I've been approaching my finances just didn't seem appetizing, didn't seem realistic, and became difficult for me to budget, which it was a very strange, as someone who tells herself that she's an obsessed budgeter, as someone that loves budgeting, someone that preaches budgeting, all of a sudden, mina manje angisakwazi ukubudgeta. So like that for me was also another realization ukuthi, sometimes when you're self-employed, you do need to refigure things out. As much as, this period of my life has came with its own things and things that were unexpected, but I'm glad also for this period of my life. I'm glad I'm learning so much in this period of my life of stillness, silence, and just being okay with just resting. I'm learning so much. But I'm ready to get back to YouTube. While I'm still going to be in period of stillness and resting, I'm just not going to be pushing myself as much, but I definitely do want to get back to creating content, because creating content is my job right now. It is my job. So I do definitely want to keep showing up for you guys, showing up for myself, mostly show up for myself and then show up for you guys, because you guys continue showing up for me. Someone gave me a super thanks of 70 rands. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to you for doing that. I truly, truly appreciate it. You guys are still watching my videos. You guys are still I even going back to older videos and just watching those videos. I truly appreciate you guys. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you for the love, thank you for the support, and I hope that this video, this podcast, some sort of a video, was kind of insight, like gave you an insight in terms of where I've been. Honestly, it's not because there's anything that has been happening. It's because there's been nothing that has been happening. It has been nothing that has been happening, but I've had to learn to be okay with the nothing that is happening. I had to accept it and embrace it for what it is right now. But I do want to show up more in this space, and also because the opportunities are still knocking in my door, it also does tell me that I do need to continue nurturing my community, my platforms, so that they can continue to feed me even in this phase that I'm in. So I'm wishing you all the best in your life right now. Whatever thing that you're going through, whatever thing that you are trying to build, whatever process or journey that you are in right now, I wish you all the best. Challenging as it may be, easy as it may be, joyful as it may be, I am wishing you all the best. May God be with you. May your guides be with you in everything that you touch. May it prosper, may it flourish, may it grow, so that it can feed you and feed your next generation as well. With that being said, I'm just gonna wrap it right here. I will catch you guys on the next episode. On the next video, we will be looking at finances. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to join us by clicking that red subscribe button on the bottom. I'll see you guys on the next one. Please take care and stay safe. Toodles!